Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, there will be a discussion on audit of cooperative societies, which is the continuation of cooperative society accounting. Kindly watch the video till the end, like and share and subscribe the channel. If you have any comments about the video, please put your comments in the comment box. Now, let's move to the presentation. As the cooperative societies are the institution in which the public have interest. So, the audit of the cooperative societies is necessary. When the public interest is vested in the functioning of the society, in order to provide a greater amount of the transparency of with respect to the performance of the cooperative societies, it is important to make the audit. It is compulsion to make the audit of the accounts of cooperative societies. So here the audit of cooperative societies means examination of the books of accounts of the cooperative societies. As of we know that these cooperative societies are governed by the provisions of the Cooperative Societies Act of 1912. And there are many, we have got various types of the cooperative societies. The cooperative societies which are working within the state, the cooperatives which are working in more than one state, which we call it as a multi-state cooperative society. So for this reason here, these cooperative societies are governed by the provisions of the Cooperative Societies Act of 1912, State Cooperative Societies of the concerned state, and Multi-State Cooperative Societies Act of 2002. For example, if a society is functioning only in Karnataka, it is governed by the provisions of the Cooperative Societies, Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act of 1959. Suppose, say, for example, if a cooperative society is working within the boundaries of Uttar Pradesh, it is governed by the provisions of Uttar Pradesh Cooperative Societies Act 1965. Similarly, if a society is functioning only within the boundaries of Maharashtra, it is governed by the Maharashtra Cooperative Societies Act of 1961. In order to ensure the audit of such societies, a person is to be appointed who is called as a cooperative society auditor. The very purpose of appointing the cooperative society auditor is that the rules and regulations, whether they are followed by these societies or not, so for such purpose here is a person known as auditor will be appointed. His work is to ensure the transparency and ascertaining the true and fair view of the books of accounts prepared by these societies. So, audit is nothing but, in a very simple words, to say examination of the books of accounts, or in other words, to say it is a critical and intelligent examination of the books of accounts and verification of the correctness with the relevant vouchers and the documents of the cooperative societies. Say, for example, in a profit and loss account, there may be any payment made and which is debited to the profit and loss account. Whether that expenditure is incurred or not can be ascertained by the auditor with the help of the voucher. Suppose, say, for example, a payment is made to a certain person, so his name should come in the voucher, and how much amount is paid and when it is paid, then what is the purpose of paying such an expenditure, or what is the reason for incurring of such an expenditure must be clearly shown in that voucher, and with that help of voucher it is entered in the books of accounts here. Suppose, say, for example, there is a purchase of furniture or a computer, then there must be purchase voucher which will certify that, which is certified by the authority regarding the purchase and which is used in the cooperative society. So a An audit is a critical and intelligent examination of the books of accounts and verification of the correctness with the relevant vouchers which are maintained by the cooperative societies and the documents of the cooperative societies. The term audit is defined by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India as it is an independent examination of financial information of any entity, whether profit oriented or not, and irrespective of its size or legal form, when such an examination is conducted with a view to expressing an opinion thereon. Now let us discuss this definition here. It is an independent examination. That means it is unbiased. It is not in favor of any of the stakeholders. It is totally unbiased. It is the examination of financial information of any entity. Here financial information is nothing but the true and fair view of the financial statements prepared by the cooperative society or any other organization. Such an organization may be a profit oriented or it may be a service oriented. As of us, we know that the society is a non-profit organization. It is the institution or it is an organization which is established for benefiting the members of the society. So some such cooperatives may be working on the profit motive also. So such an organization may be profit oriented or service oriented, irrespective of its size or legal form. Here, irrespective of its size means whether the cooperative may be working on a large scale or it may be working on a small scale here. Then when such an examination is conducted with a view to expressing an opinion thereon. So it is nothing but the certification of the performance of the society for a particular by an authorized person. So that is how it is defined by the ICAI with respect to the audit here. Here the auditing is nothing but the process of verifying and verification of the financial statements with the help of the vouchers and the documents here. According to the Macklin Committee and Mirda Committee, cooperative audit should not confine only to the examination of the books of accounts. It also considers whether the society has adhered to the principles of the cooperative or not, and providing guidance for improvement of the cooperative society. Therefore, the audit of cooperative society has to be conducted specifically in the background of the cooperative principles, and the guidance is to be given by the cooperative auditor for the improvement of the society in the subsequent years. Now let us look into the certain features of these societies here. Adherence to the principles of cooperative. All of us, we know that there are many principles of the cooperative which we have discussed already in the previous videos. Here the objective, the prime objective of the society is to render services to its members. In other words, to say, it is the economic improvement of the members of the society. So a cooperative auditor has to ascertain whether the society has worked in favor of its members or not. Then examination of overdue debts. Suppose, say for example, if any particular debt which is not paid within 90 days of its borrowing, then it is designated as a non-performing asset. So any particular asset, say for example, at least within 90 days, the interest payment should start by the borrower. Whether it is done or not, it is to be ascertained by the cooperative auditor, so that he can come to know at the end of the audit how much is the NPA of the society here. Then overdue interest. Sometimes a borrower who has failed to make the payment of the interest within the stipulated time, he may be further levied with the interest on the interest. So whether such things are maintained by the society or not. An auditor wants to know the amount, the overdue interest amount which he should mention in the financial statement, so that the creditors will come to know the credit worthiness of the society here. Then a certification of the bad debts. The debts are classified into three categories, that is good, bad and doubtful debts. It is a duty of the cooperative auditor to ascertain the percentage of the doubtful debts, whether which will be recovered during a particular financial year or not. So he should ascertain these types of the debts due by the borrowers, so that he will come to know the amount of the good debts, the amount of the bad debts, the amount of the doubtful debts here. Then the next one comes here, valuation of assets and liabilities. An auditor has to verify the value of the assets and liabilities by using his own knowledge in the field of audit here. He should also consider the market value of the assets along with the book value of the assets. And he should ascertain the proper method of stock taking. He should ascertain the value of the liabilities here. An auditor should observe that the adherence of the society towards the provisions of the acts and rules. As previously told, whether the society has adhered or followed or in accordance with the provisions of the Indian Cooperative Societies Act of 1912 or Multi-State Cooperative Societies Act of 2002 and the concerned state act here. If the society has not followed, if the society has not obeyed, or if the society has not carried its activities in accordance with the provisions of these acts here, he has to guide the society for the proper implementation or of such rules here. And he should also narrate the consequences if the society has not adhered to the acts and the provisions of the various acts here. He should also verify the members of the members registers, which contains the occupation, the name and occupation, address of the member, the amount contributed by each member, his shareholdings, and he should also make an examination of their passbook, whether the proper amount of the dividend is paid or not, whether the rate of dividend matches with the rate of disbursement of the dividend. So all these things he should compare and he should provide a report for the same. Then he should also see that a special report is submitted to the registrar. So this will help the registrar whether to know the functioning of the such society, and accordingly the registrar can give directions to the society. Then he should also ascertain the audit classification of the society, whether the concurrent audit is to be conducted or interim audit, or say for example the final audit, then the final audit, etc., when it should be carried out. Then he should also discuss the draft of the audit report with the management committee. So in that report he must clearly specify the picture, the overall picture of the society to the managing committee, and this helps the managing committee to take appropriate decisions for the betterment of the society. Now let us look into the objectives of the cooperative audit here. The very purpose of carrying out the audit by the cooperative auditor is to ensure the accuracy of the financial statements prepared by the society here. He should ascertain the arithmetical accuracy when he understands or when he goes through the trial balance. The financial position shown by the society is an appropriate or not. The values of the assets and liabilities which are shown in the balance sheet according to their true values or not, he needs to check. Then the very purpose of conducting the audit is to detect the clerical errors during the course of the entry in the primary books and the subsidiary books, say the primary book is nothing but the journal and the subsidiary books are nothing but the, say for example, like a sales ledger, or it may be like a accounts receivables, etc. So the whether is there any mistake, any error which has made by the accountant while entering the records in the books of accounts. He should also detect and state how to prevent the frauds. It should not lead to any misappropriation or cash embezzlement in the society here. So he should detect and prevent the errors which is going to occur in the future. He should conduct an examination of the provisions of the cooperative laws and principles of the cooperative and sound business principles, whether the business ensures the liquidity to its shareholders or not, whether it ensures the solvency or not. So he has to certify for the same. Then he should conduct an assessment to the extent to which the conditions of the members, particularly their economic conditions, have improved by the operations of the society. The basic objective of the society is to render service to its members, and it should empower the members economically. So he should carry out a clear-cut assessment to know the improvement of its members by becoming the member of the such a society here. He should certify the actual profit or the loss incurred. So whether the profit or loss shown by the financial statement is true to his best of his knowledge or not, he has to certify it. Now, let us look into certain types of the audit here. So a society have 4 types of audit, that is concurrent audit, interim audit, test audit, and a final audit. We shall discuss these things in the subsequent slides here. Concurrent audit. A concurrent audit means the audit of both accounts and maintenance of accounts done at the same time here. Under this audit here, the audit is carried with the period of maintenance of accounts, and the auditor engaged on audit continuously throughout the year. In other words, to say, a concurrent audit is conducted throughout the year so that the auditor can provide proper guidance to the society in order for improvement here. And this concurrent audit is conducted by the big societies like state level and apex bodies, district cooperatives, etc., having a large volume of business. The societies which have got huge daily transactions, such as societies can adopt this type of a concurrent audit, and it is conducted by the departmental auditors, and the cost of the auditing is to be borne by the concerned society here. And such concurrent auditor should submit the report to the concerned society periodically in the given format which is prescribed by the director of cooperative societies which facilitate the management to rectify the defects before the final audit is conducted here. So it is just like it acts as like a torch bearer to the future consequences. So before a final audit is going to be carried out here, this concurrent audit will take place, say for example, monthly, and based on that the auditor can submit the report which will be discussed in the meetings of the board, and the board can take a proper decision to rectify the mistakes or the errors which are, or the defects which are occurred during the course of a particular financial year. Then comes here interim audit. Here the interim audit means the conduct of the audit before conducting the final audit here. In other words, to say, it is the audit which is conducted in the middle of the year. It helps to complete the final audit. This audit also helps to the staff to rectify their irregularities in the interim audit report. In other words to say, the interim audit enables the staff to rectify the irregularities mentioned in the interim audit report. So before the final audit is conducted, it will guide how a society should function so that their irregularities will be minimized. Then it ensures the management for rectification of the errors pointed out in the interim audit report here. So when an auditor conducts the interim audit, he submits that interim audit report to the management of the managing committee of the society. The managing committee of the society can decide the necessary action which can be initiated so that these irregularities will be minimized. This report has to be submitted for the period with the summary of the defects, if any, made by the concerned society here. Then the next one comes here, test audit. Here the test audit means the audit conducted to test the correctness of the final audit done by an auditor. In other words to say, it is the checking of the work done by the auditor of the society here. The objective of the test audit is to check the efficiency of the audit staff to find out the mistakes committed by them. In other words to say, it acts like a watchdog. In other words to say, it acts as a watchdog so that it will come to know whether the auditor has committed any mistakes in carrying out the auditing process. This audit is conducted by superior officer. The test audit is not conducted for all the societies, but conducted only for selected societies which are having considerable transactions. If there are heavy transactions, in 1 month's transactions are sufficient for conduct of the test audit. When the test audit of the society discloses serious defects, the work of the concerned auditor should be examined in depth by the test audit. So a care has to be taken while selecting the societies for the test audit here. So here it is nothing but the questioning of the credentials of the auditor here. So that's why here it must be very careful while selecting for this test audit here. Then comes here the final audit. As the name itself indicates, final audit. This audit is conducted at the end of the financial year. It is conducted after the end of the financial year when the accounts are closed and prepared by the society. And as such includes here complete examination of all the books of accounts. That it is the verification of the trial balance, the balance sheet, the profit or loss statement prepared by the society. So all these things are examined and all the necessary ledger postings will be can be checked and verified with the help of the vouchers and the documents. It includes the verification of the cash and the bank balances and the securities. In other words to say, the bank reconciliation statement prepared by the society is true or not, which will be verified by the auditor here. And he should also ascertain the investments made by the society here. It also includes the verification of assets and liabilities, whether the assets and liabilities shown in the financial statements are true or not, which will be ensured by the final auditor, by the auditor here. It also includes the examination of the overdue debts. So how sometimes even the period of the repayment is over, but still if they are not paid, such debts, what we call as overdue debts here. The final audit aims at brings to light the extent to which the society has been able to improve the economic conditions of its members here. Literally, the final audit is concerned to ascertain the society has succeeded in achieving its objectives or not. And such a final audit report should be prepared by the auditor, and it should include the details of the assets and liabilities, overdue, bad and doubtful debts, confirmations received from the creditors and the debtors, the details of the suspense count, etc. here. The final audit reports should be accompanied by a sheet called as a defect sheet explaining the various defects relating to the contravention of the Act, rules and bylaws, and any misappropriations, if any unauthorized payments made by the society, etc. At last, the auditor should furnish the audit certificate in the prescribed form showing the state of accounts and affairs of the cooperative society here. Now let us look into the statutory provisions relating to the cooperative audit here. The audit of cooperative societies is conducted as per the provisions of section 63 of the Karnataka Cooperative Societies Act 1959. Here the discussion is limited to the Karnataka state only. Section 63 subsection 1 to section 63 subsection 20 deals with the various provisions of the cooperative societies. Section 63 subsection 1, every cooperative society shall get its accounts audited at least once in each year by an auditor or by the auditing firm, which is appointed by the board of directors in the general body meeting. It authorizes the board of directors to prepare a panel of the auditors. Say for example, a panel consisting of 3-4 auditors. So which will be, such a panel is prepared by the directors, which is given to them by section 63 subsection 1 here. Section 63 subsection 3 states the manner of preparation of the panel of the auditors and auditing firms and the procedure to be followed by the society as explained in Rule 29A and 29B will be considered. In other words, to say, it will state the appointment, the term of the auditor, the remuneration, etc. here. Section 63 subsection 4 provides the audit under 98U and 98V, which should include an examination of the overdue amounts by the society, if any, the physical verification of the and valuation of assets and liabilities, verification of a cash and a bank balance and the securities, certification of the profits or the losses, compliance with the transparency law and other laws applicable to cooperative societies, including the instructions and the directions of NABARD, which stands for National Banking for Agriculture and Rural Development, or the Reserve Bank of India. It also includes an examination of the working and the other prescribed particulars of the society. Section 63 subsection 5 provides that every auditor or the auditing firm shall at all the times have access to the books of accounts, documents, papers, securities, cash and other properties belongs to the cooperative society. This provides the proper auditing of the society here. Section 63 subsection 7 states that the board of every cooperative society is responsible to produce the annual financial statements, which includes the receipts and payment account or the income and expenditure account, profit or loss account, balance sheet, cash flow statements, funds flow statement, along with the schedules and other statements before the auditor or the auditing firm within the 30 days of the closure of the account. That is, within 1 month from the finalization of their accounts here. Then section 63 subsection 8, which provides that the auditor or the auditing firm shall conduct and complete the audit of the accounts as provided for in this act or the rules, and send copies of the audit report and communicate the results to the societies and other concerned societies as early as possible, but within first day of the September of every year. Then section 63 subsection 10 states that if there are any defects in the working of the society, or if any errors have been made by the clerical staff, in such case the board shall take the necessary steps to rectify the defects and the remedies for irregularities pointed out in the interim audit report. You should place the audit report along with the action taken report before the general meeting as per the sub rule 5 of 29 here. Section 63 subsection 11, under this section here, the directors of cooperative audit shall submit the audit reports to an apex cooperative society to the state government annually to be placed before the legislature here. This provides, or this assists in the policy making with respect to the cooperative society here. Section 63 subsection 13, which provides it is necessary or the expedient to re-audit the accounts of the society under Rule 29F if it appears to the state government that there is a prima facie case of a fraud or misappropriation or embezzlement of cash which is not detected or properly examined by the auditor during the course of the regular audit, or misclassification of the accounts, or for any other valid reason on an application by the cooperative society here. It is nothing but when the state government believes that there is a prima facie evidence of the fraud or misappropriation or embezzlement of cash, in such case the state government can direct to the Department of the Audits to conduct such an audit here. Section 63 subsection 14, which provides that the auditor has to inquire, section 63 subsection 14, the auditor has not inquired regarding the loans and advances made by the society are properly insured, secured or not, or not prejudicial to the interests of the society or its members, or whether the transactions of the society are not prejudicial to the interests of the society, or whether the personal expenses have been charged to the revenue account, whether the position as stated in the accounts books and the balance sheet of the society is incorrect, irregular and not misleading, whether any special issue referred for inquiry by the RBI or NABARD duly inquired and reported on it. So in such case it is to be carried out here. Then section 63 subsection 15, which provides that the auditor shall make a report that the accounts examined by him shows the true and fair view of the society at the end of the year, or that is a profit or loss ascertained shows the correct profit or loss, and the balance sheet shows a correct, true and fair financial position of the society. Then section 63 subsection 16 states that the auditor's report shall also state all the necessary information and explanation to the best of his knowledge and belief. It should also state the proper books of accounts have been maintained and proper returns have been received from the branches. The auditor has dealt with the audit report of the branches also, whether the balance sheet and the P&L account, profit and loss account have been prepared as per the law or not. All these are to be certified by the auditor here. Section 63 subsection 17 states the audit report shall include all the particulars of the defectors or the irregularities or the misappropriation, embezzlement of funds or the frauds with all the necessary evidences. In other to say, the auditor has to prove what is stated in his audit report. It should also include the implications of the irregularities on the financial statements, how those errors or the frauds have affected have affected the in the financial statements. He should also state the functioning of the general body, board and subcommittees to be checked, and any irregularities or the violations observed to be reported during duly fixing the responsibilities for such acts. It should also include all the schedules and other statements as may be prescribed here. Then section 63 subsection 18 states that whether any matter referred to the section 17 is answered in the negative or with a qualifying observation, the audit report shall state the reason for the answer here. Then section 63 subsection 19, under this section, the remuneration of the auditor or the auditing firm of the society shall be borne by the society itself, and the rates of remuneration may be fixed at the general body meeting of the society here. And lastly, section 63 subsection 20 should state the director of the cooperative audit shall maintain a list of the cooperative societies district wise, a list of working societies, a list of societies whose accounts are subject to audit, a list of the societies whose accounts are not audited within the prescribed time and the reasons for it. The directors shall coordinate with the cooperative societies and auditors or the auditing firms and ensure the completion of the audit or the accounts of all the cooperative societies in time every year. So thank you for watching this.